While working a part-time job, I witnessed Ivy making out with Ethan in a sports car, her clothes disheveled. When I knocked on the window, Ethan asked her, "Who's this?" Ivy nestled in his arms and said, "Just some simp. I'll dump him right now if you ask." After kissing Ethan, she walked away without glancing at me. Ethan licked his lips where Ivy had kissed him, sneering, "Walk away. Beauties belong to the strong." I asked, "The girlfriend doesn't matter. But why are you sitting in my car?" The atmosphere froze. Ethan gripped the steering wheel, staring blankly. "Your car? This is mine." I opened the glove compartment and showed the vehicle registration. "See? My name's on it. Why are you in my car?" "Stealing?" The popular jock flushed crimson, scrambling out to whisper, "Don't call cops. My dad's a mechanic. I borrowed this beauty from the shop. Please." I raised my voice. "Borrowed? This is theft. Since when do repair shops lend customer cars?" Ethan mumbled, "Sorry, bro." "Don't bro me. Let me inspect the damage." He stood silent as I found a dent on the hood. "Explain this." Panicking, Ethan blurted, "Not my fault." Ivy kept posing on the hood for thirst traps. "Check her socials." My phone showed nothing. Ethan handed his. Ivy had blocked me, examining her provocative posts. I clicked my tongue. "These'll make great evidence. Expect court summons." Ethan paled. Will this cost much?" "About $15,000. But she caused it. Why should I pay?" I sighed. "Shared liability under law. Your dad's yearly income gone." The muscular athlete burst into tears. "That bitch." I told her about carbon skin. High-end sports cars need warm-up. She sat on cold hood for selfies. "My parents worked so hard." I called an appraiser, ignoring his sobs. Ethan wailed, "How are you the rich one?" She said, "You hand out flyers for shops." "I don't work part-time. Those shops are mine." Closing the window on his shock, I added, "Half the campus strips my family's. Handing out our own flyers. Problem?" Then Ivy texted, "Since you saw, we're done. Don't blame me. I'd rather cry in a Lamborghini than smile on your bicycle." I pondered. Both Lamborghini and bicycle were mine. Should she laugh or weep? Before I could reply, "Expect court papers." She blocked me, furious about the $10,000 repair bill. I stormed into her dorm, hearing voices inside. I paused at her door. A woman asked, "You followed my plan?" Ivy answered, "Yes." Told them I took the pill. Perfect timing. "I tracked your cycle, peak fertility days. Get pregnant, and we'll force that rich boy to marry you." Ivy worried. "What if he demands abortion?" The woman hissed, "My methods ensure he'll claim the baby. You dumped your boyfriend for him. He'll pay." Shocked, I knocked. Ivy scowled. "We're through. Stop harassing me. Poor guys shouldn't stalk girls. It's pathetic." It seems Ivy misunderstood, thinking I came to win her back. Two of her roommates were present, both familiar faces. Before I could speak, one roommate spoke up. "Could you stop blocking Ivy from pursuing her own happiness?" I froze. "Since when did making out with another man in a sports car behind your boyfriend's back count as pursuing happiness?" This roommate, Jessica, Ivy's closest friend, was the same person who'd earlier urged Ivy to get pregnant. Back when Ivy and I first started dating, Jessica had constantly made snide remarks like a man's love is measured by how much money he spends. Influenced by Jessica's prodding, I'd showered Ivy with gifts. Today, I came to reclaim them. "I'll accept the breakup," I said, "but you should return the phone I bought you." I deliberately avoided mentioning the sports car, knowing Ivy's personality. She'd likely cling to me if she realized the vehicle's value. Better to retrieve smaller items first. Ivy frowned coldly. "I never took you for such a petty man. Have you considered my feelings?" The irony choked me. After her betrayal, why should I care about her feelings? Jessica suddenly giggled behind her hand. "Can't you see through this poor man's scheme? The phone's just an excuse." He's creating obstacles because he can't let go. Ivy sneered. So you think I'll avoid returning your trashy phone to preserve our relationship? Forget it. My new man could buy me 10 phones without blinking. Jessica chimed in. I checked earlier. Ethan's Lamborghini costs millions. A new phone means nothing to him. Fine. Take your phone. Ivy snapped. But first, let me make one last call. I'll show you exactly why I'm leaving you. The wealth gap between you and real men is insurmountable. As she dialed, Jessica urged, put it on speaker. Let him hear his inferiority. The moment the call connected, Ivy whined, Ethan, my ex is forcing me to return his phone. How will I contact you without? Fuck off, bitch. Ethan's roar blasted through the speaker. If I see you again, I'll beat you senseless. The line went dead. Both women turned pale. Jessica recovered first, hurling a book at me while screaming, you must have bad-mouthed her downstairs. Ivy trembled with rage. You're disgusting. How could you sabotage me? I said nothing. I retorted. Just return my things. Jessica snapped photos of me, posting this creep online. Let's make him famous. Scrolling through my phone later, I found her actual post. Girls beware. Poor men cause endless drama. My bestie's being harassed by this loser. Meanwhile, Ivy's engine cover selfies had landed Ethan with tens of thousands in debt. No wonder he'd exploded. As for Jessica's brave dating advice, it explained everything. Were you her cheating coach? I demanded. Rescuing my friend from your poverty isn't cheating. Jessica shot back. She'll thank me someday. Ivy shoved the phone at me. Apologize to Ethan. Clear my name. Never. I began itemizing every gift and transfer. You'll repay it all. Must you humiliate me? Ivy hissed. Jessica's camera flashed again. Smile for your social media funeral. The spreadsheet expanded. Dinners, jewelry, concert tickets. Each entry tightened Ivy's glare. Outside, twilight fell on the dormitory, the fluorescent lights humming louder than their fading protests. I frowned and said, why do you keep bringing up poor people when we're talking about personal matters? You might as well tattoo gold digger on your forehead. Jessica sneered. Exactly. I love money. What right do you have to judge? If you were rich, you'd be lecturing me instead of me tearing into you. Look at yourself. Pathetic. She grew more agitated, striding to the window and pointing downstairs. Real men drive Lamborghinis worth millions while building empires. Broke losers like you sit here counting pennies, making girls regret ever loving you. Our other roommate finally spoke up. Janet, maybe you should pay him back. You're in the wrong here. Ivy's face immediately darkened. What's that supposed to mean? You're taking his side now? Jessica laughed coldly. Isn't it obvious? She's jealous you're dating a Lamborghini owner. This poor bitch has to tear you down to feel better. The roommate flushed crimson. That's not true. I know Janet from school, the scholarship student. When Ivy made us buy desserts for the whole dorm last year, Janet refused. Said she wouldn't take charity. I've respected her ever since. Ivy sighed dramatically. Janet, I know your poor loans. Scholarships. The whole sob story. I get why you hate successful people. But let me tell you something. Good grades can't compensate for terrible character. Janet's eyes widened in disbelief. Are you saying I lack character? I was stunned. Janet worked 3 jobs while maintaining straight ass. Meanwhile, Ivy had literally been making out with her sugar daddy in his sports car an hour ago, in front of me, her supposed boyfriend. And she dared lecture Janet about character? Jessica snorted. Typical broke chick behavior. You know he's single now, so you're playing the innocent card. Face it, Lamborghini men are out of your league. You'll settle for any minimum wage loser who glances your way. Janet clenched her fists, standing abruptly. I tutor part-time. I make $2,000 a month. Peanuts. Jessica rolled her eyes. Yesterday I saw you eat rice that fell on the table. That's how desperate you are. No wonder you'll fuck any. Enough. Ivy slammed her phone on the table, cutting Jessica off. She glared at me. You've humiliated me enough. The biggest mistake of my life was dating you. Let's settle the bills so I can explain this mess to my new man. Jessica hurried to console her. Don't worry, babe. I'll go with you. Once Ethan sees how you handled this trash, you'll still be his princess. I tuned out their nonsense and focused on calculating our expenses. I deliberately excluded the Lamborghini repair fees. No way was I letting Ivy use that as an excuse to reconnect. The final number stunned me. $18,000 over 1 year. My own monthly expenses barely hit $300. Dating really is expensive. Even Ivy and Jessica looked shaken. Where would students get that kind of money? They triple-checked my math before conceding defeat. I can't pay this right now. Ivy stammered. Jessica grabbed her arm. Don't back down. How you handle this peasant determines whether Ethan stays interested. We'll get loans if we have to. Cut ties with poverty to claim your wealthy future. Ultimately, peer pressure won. Fine. Ivy sighed. We'll borrow quietly. If my parents find out, they'll kill me. I almost laughed. If 18,000 warranted death, what would her parents do when the 100,000 Lamborghini repair bill arrived? The borrowing spree began. Shockingly, classmates forked over hundreds each with ease. My friends really came through. Ivy marveled. Jessica grinned. Those Lamborghini selfies did the trick. People want connections with wealth. If you were still dating this loser. She shot me a contemptuous look. You'd be begging a loan. Ivy nodded at me triumphantly. See, this is real power, making people eager to help without asking. Our relationship was holding me back. Jessica finished with a smirk. Being with you wasn't just a mistake. It was a humanitarian crisis. They kept borrowing money and finally managed to get over $8,000. But there was still a $10,000 gap. Jessica gritted her teeth and said, I know someone connected to the streets who can lend it to me. But if we can't pay back on time, things could get bad. Ivy asked with concern. How bad? Jessica snapped. Never mind that. Your new boyfriend's loaded. 10 grand's pocket change for him. Jessica quickly contacted the so-called street-connected person, clearly a professional private lender who transferred $10,000 without hesitation. After they pooled the money to repay me, Ivy threw her phone at my chest, sneering. Happy now? Get lost. Never contact me again. I nodded and turned to Janet. Come with me. She looked startled. Jessica immediately mocked. Told you they're screwing around. The second you repay him, they're all over each other. I sighed. The only reason I wanted Janet was because as a student council member, she had everyone's contact records. If I planned to serve court summons to Ivy's family, I'd need their home address. Janet flushed crimson and followed me out. Head lowered. Jessica jeered. Actually leaving with him? Guess you'll take any sloppy seconds Ivy discards. Janet's eyes welled up. It's not like that. Jessica taunted. Stop pretending. Fake bitch. No wonder your family's poor. Must be genetic. Seeing how you'll even suck up to flyer distributors. Your parents must be real trash too. Ivy gave us a contemptuous look. Thank God I dumped you. You two deserve each other. She spat one last insult. Trash belongs with trash. May you live happily ever after. Leading Janet to the stairwell, she whispered. I only spoke up because it was unfair. Don't misunderstand. I just want to focus on studies. I nodded. I know. Between scholarships and tutoring jobs. Who has time for dating? She blinked. Then why? I need Ivy's home address from the contact records. Her eyes widened. What are you planning? Don't do anything stupid. She grabbed my hand urgently. We might be poor, but we've got dignity. Don't ruin your future over others' mistakes. The air hung heavy. Did she think I'd go on a suicide mission against Ivy's family? Janet suddenly realized she was clutching my hand and jerked back, cheeks flaming. You work so hard. You deserve better. In 10 years, Ivy will regret this. Won't take that long. I said. The dealership already assessed damages. If her family's local, the regret's coming fast. Janet froze. Dealership? The sports car downstairs? Mine. Her jaw dropped. After explaining everything and showing vehicle registration, she floated dreamily to retrieve the contact records. The address she provided stunned me. Less than 2 miles from the dealership. Perfect timing. Calling the dealership. They promised damage assessment within 10 minutes. Then I paused. Ivy had returned my phone. How would I contact her for further payments? Better return it temporarily. Back at the dorm. Ivy glared. Why are you here? Figured you need a phone. Borrow mine for a few days. Jessica fake, gagged. Told you. This loser's trying to play breakup, make up games. Ivy screamed. You think I'm stupid? Stop humiliating me in front of my friends. Suddenly, Jessica's phone rang. She frowned. Weird, your parents are calling me? I froze. The dealership worked faster than expected. It seemed Ivy's parents couldn't reach her, so they immediately contacted Jessica. Ivy took the phone and asked, Mom, what's wrong? Though she didn't put it on speaker this time. Her mother's furious shout came through crystal clear. Don't call me Mom. Do you know how much your father and I make? You've ruined our family. The sudden scolding left Ivy stunned. She stammered, Mom, what did I do wrong? Clutching her phone, Ivy retreated to the corner of the dorm room. Mid-conversation, she suddenly burst into loud sobs. Jessica urgently asked, What's wrong, sis? Sniffling, Ivy confessed, I know why Ethan suddenly got mad. I dented his car when I sat on it. And now he's demanding my family pay $137,000 for repairs. Where would we get that kind of money? Jessica looked equally shocked. That's impossible. How could just sitting on it cause damage? The repair bill was sent to my house. Mom texted me photos of the invoice. Ivy collapsed onto her bed, trembling. Jessica gritted her teeth. Don't panic yet. I might have a solution. What solution? At this point, we need to check if you're pregnant. If you're carrying his child, how could he possibly demand money from you? Ivy's eyes lit up. Right. Even if he doesn't care about me, he'd have to consider the baby. Jessica nodded fiercely. If he still asks for payment, we'll storm into his family mansion. Ivy sighed deeply. I wanted to use this pregnancy to marry into wealth. But now it might only cover car repairs. $137,000 isn't small change. Your parents would need 2 years to earn that. Jessica comforted. Besides, who says you can't still marry rich? His parents might insist on marriage. Then you'll get the car fixed and a new vehicle. I considered warning them about how pregnancy wouldn't magically erase repair bills. But before I could speak, Ivy shot me a venomous glare. She snatched her phone back. Shut up. Get lost. I can't deal with your voice right now. Jessica snapped at me too. Yeah. Why don't you leave? We're trying to figure out how to calm Ethan down. I awkwardly suggested. Maybe check the documents first? Get out. Jessica roared. Creep. We've got nothing to say to you. Keep harassing Ivy, and we'll sue. Fine. I shrugged. We'll see each other in court anyway. Ivy started recording a voice message for Ethan, pleading tearfully. Please come to my dorm. I need to talk. I'm begging you. Ethan's reply came instantly. When she played it, his sneering voice rang out. Sure thing. Bitch. Let's chat. Come down now. Ivy looked anxiously at Jessica. With that attitude, will he really forgive me? Just beg properly. I'll help. Jessica helped her up, then glared at me. Move. Mutt. As I turned to leave, Janet returned. Ivy and Jessica brushed past her, rushing downstairs ahead of us. Janet whispered to me, Will you make Ivy pay a lot? I won't scam anyone. Just fair compensation. But what? They're apologizing to the wrong person. This might get awkward. When we reached the courtyard, Ethan stood waiting with a bright red handprint on his cheek, sobbing by the roadside. Clearly, he'd told his father about the incident and received some fatherly wisdom. The girls froze. Jessica muttered, "Rich kid crying over car repairs." "Seriously?" Ivy whispered. "He really loved that car. Always babied it during our dates." Jessica sighed. "They say cars are men's second wives." "So true." I rolled my eyes. "Personally, I've never understood marrying a vehicle. And how could he not protect it? That's my car." Ivy hurriedly stepped forward, pleading with teary eyes. "Baby, let me explain." "Explain my ass. You bitch." Ethan finally lost control, grabbing Ivy's hair and slapping her hard across the face. Neither Ivy nor Jessica had expected Ethan to resort to violence. Jessica rushed to intervene while Ivy whimpered, "Hit me if you're angry. Baby, it's my fault. I'll spend my whole life making it up to you. Okay? I don't need your damn apologies." Ethan roared, punching Ivy's face repeatedly. The crowd watched in stunned silence as the girl who'd moments earlier stepped out of a sports car amid envious gazes now had her head yanked back by her hair, taking blow after blow in full public view. "Stop. She's a girl." Jessica screamed when Ethan struck so hard he knocked out Ivy's front tooth. Spitting blood, Ivy frantically scrambled to retrieve the tooth from the pavement. Sobbing enough, "My tooth came out." "Jessica, get milk." Nodding sagely, I remarked, "Smart move. Teeth need milk for preservation if you want them reattached." Janet turned to me bewildered. "Are you enjoying this?" "Of course not." I sighed. "We loved each other once. Seeing her like this breaks my heart." "Then why are you smiling?" "I was born cheerful. Smiling people tend to have better luck." Amid the beating, Ivy suddenly remembered me, covering her bleeding mouth. She wailed, "You're not a man at all. How can you just watch? Weren't you the ones threatening legal action if I harassed you earlier?" I reminded them calmly. Ethan seemed to notice me for the first time. Releasing Ivy, he strode toward me as Jessica pleaded, "Ethan, don't you know how much Ivy sacrificed for you? This loser kept bullying her earlier. She endured it all because she loves you." "Shut up. Your whole family are losers." Ethan snapped before dropping to his knees before me. The crowd froze as the campus heartthrob tearfully begged, "Bro, I'm sorry. Please have mercy." A pin could have been heard dropping. Students gaped. Jessica trembled uncontrollably. Janet stared at the ground. Ivy's nose started bleeding as she inhaled sharply, only to choke on her own blood with violent coughs. Sighing, I said, "Why wait until now for remorse?" Jessica stammered, Why are you apologizing to him?" Ethan wept openly. "I shouldn't have stolen your car to show off. Shouldn't have stolen your girl. I'm trash. My dad said our auto shop can't afford the repairs anymore." Nodding, I replied, "Your father works hard. That's why I entrusted my car to his shop. Who knew an honest mechanic would raise such a son?" Ivy stared blankly at the sports car, voice shaking. That's your car?" I nodded and said, "Yes, it's my car." Her expression froze. Then her lips trembled, and she burst into tears again. "How could you be the one with money? Weren't you just handing out flyers?" "I was handing out flyers, but those were all my stores." Ivy, ignoring her bleeding nose and missing front tooth, hurriedly stood up and limped over to me. She grabbed my arm, sobbing, "Baby, please let me explain." I said coldly, "I'm not your baby. We've already broken up." I reached out and placed my hand on Ethan's shoulder. Ethan swallowed hard, looking at me pleadingly. "This is your fault, not your father's. Actually, you did me a favor by revealing my girlfriend's true colors." I paused. "Since you helped me, I'll help you. After graduation next year, agree on compensation terms with her. I'll let you pay me back in installments over 3 years once you start earning your own money." Ethan exclaimed excitedly, "Really?" I nodded. "Yes. Your mistakes shouldn't burden your father. But I glanced at Ivy's bloody face. Knocking out her tooth might cost you extra. I won't pay a cent. I'll take the criminal record. I wasn't getting into government service anyway. Rather face jail than compensate her? Damn right. That bitch doesn't deserve it. I slapped his back approvingly. Now you're talking sense. I'll deduct $1,400 from your debt as a reward. Ivy stared at us in shock. Baby, I was wrong. She whimpered. Give me another chance. It was. She suddenly turned and pointed at Jessica. This slut corrupted me. Jessica stood frozen as Ivy screamed. You made me do this. I love my boyfriend. Why did I listen to you? Remember to take morning after pills. I interrupted. Not that I care about you, but I know you'd abort anyway. No child deserves to die because of your selfishness. Ivy turned deathly pale. Jessica suddenly wailed. You'll still repay the money I lent you, right? Why should I? You ruined me. Ivy snapped. But the loan sharks will kill me. Jessica collapsed crying. My family can't afford $1,400. Janet clenched her fists. You mock me for eating fallen food. But your family's poorer than mine. Hypocrite. You deserve this. I told Ivy. Only contact me about repayment. Otherwise, I'll sue for harassment. Turning to Janet. I asked. Want to celebrate? My treat. Are you drunk? Why would I get in your car? She retorted. Embarrassed. I drove off in my sports car. Later, the Peters and Lee families settled on splitting compensation costs. Rumor says Ivy's parents beat her so badly she needed leg casts. When it healed wrong, doctors had to re-break it. She dropped out her final college year from shame. Jessica became campus laughingstock, desperate to repay debts. She begged me for work after being rejected everywhere. I made her clean toilets at my diners. Perfect irony for someone who despised the poor. Now students line up to use Jessica's freshly scrubbed toilets, forcing her to clean repeatedly. After Ivy dropped out of school, she kept messaging me, begging to reconcile. Every time I blocked her, she'd create a new account to harass me. Eventually, I did exactly what she feared. I sued her. That finally scared her into permanent silence. Janet and I never had any romantic involvement. She was this fiercely independent and disciplined girl, completely different from Ivy and her crowd. During our senior year of college, Janet never once reached out. After graduation, she returned to her hometown to teach in impoverished mountain villages. She told me many children there lived in poverty, and she wanted to make a difference. I genuinely admired her character and tried contacting her a few times, but she showed zero interest in dating. The only time she ever messaged me first was to ask if I could organize clothing donations for the mountain areas. I contributed some old clothes myself, and after that, we never spoke again. To this day, I remember her words, live with integrity. That remarkable woman. I truly hope life takes her places.